rolling with it, and hopefully, I don't know, we will stay well. And I will be able to keep teaching. I mean, I'll post stuff, but hopefully we'll be able to do more live. So the way it works out, let me kind of explain this to you. So if you're on Zoom with me today, you will not need to be on Zoom with me on Monday, okay? The reason is I'm basically going to reteach this whole class on Monday because I cannot access the people that are actually at school because they're not allowed to be on Zoom at school. So I'll say that again, if you are with me today, whether it's just because you're a red student or if you're all virtual, either way, you don't need to Zoom with me on Monday because I'm going to repeat this whole class. So what you will do, I'll show you, if you're not looking at my current lesson, I'll show you how I have it set up, and it'll be the same thing on Monday. So like there's directions for people that are in class that you are not going to do today. So they have a practice Kahoot to do, and they're going to have some time to make sure they've done all their work from this week. And they're going to do Quizlet because you are going to have a quiz on Tuesday. The quiz was originally going to be today, but obviously with our crazy week, my crazy week, that was pushed back. So then like today we're going to do these things. All right. And then on Monday, they'll be switched. Okay. So you'll still get to do all the things, but that was kind of the best way I could figure out to get everyone the information. So today I want to take the period to just catch us up on everything. Make sure that you have done and understand everything from your week that you need to make sure that we are prepared to move on next week. And like I said, getting ready for a quiz on Tuesday. All right. So the first thing that I want you to do is to go ahead and go to my current lesson if you're not there. And I'm going to have you click on, so you're at the bottom now, you're on the Zoom meeting. So you're looking at this. Go to number 1. I want you to review this quiz on numbers, Sarah and a star, and AR Preterite. All right. So you click on your quiz. And I want you to put any questions that you might have for me in the chat so I can go over those with you. Your quiz next Tuesday will include AR Preterite. Okay. It will not specifically include numbers and Sarah and a star, but your final exam will include that. So make sure that you have all your questions answered. I'm going to mute myself in 2 minutes while you put questions in the chat, review your answers, and then we'll go from there. Okay. All right. So you should be looking at your quiz, which is number 1 on the current lesson. And if you have questions, I can repeat the numbers. If you want to hear any of the numbers again, just put whatever you need into the chat. It's kind of a little self-quiz, see how you're doing on things. So find a piece of paper. Oh, and by the way, I was not going to stop in the middle for lunch. Is that okay? Can we just go straight through and then end? Okay. I feel like that's always preferable, so. Okay, so paper, you got some paper? Here's what I want you to do. Okay, it's a little self-quiz. These are the things that I have hoped that you have learned this week or mastered this week. And if you haven't, then you know what you still need to work on before Tuesday. All right, Tuesday is the next quiz. All right, first thing I want you to jot down are your AR Preterite endings. Okay, that was on the quiz we just went through. It's going to be on your next quiz. AR Preterite endings. Jot them down with accents as needed. Ready, set, go. Okay, AR. It's my fancy board today. No whiteboards. We're using paper. All right, so write down your endings. AR Preterite endings. Ready, set, go. Can you do it? It's a little self-check quiz. You for sure should be able to do these. Already had one quiz over them. All right, before we put them up here, how many accents should I see? Should you have written? Reginald says 2. Sounds good. Give you a point for that. I'm still, thanks Emma, give you a point. Still taking participation points. Okay, I'll get back to that today. So there'll be plenty of chances to get a point. So get ready. All right, I'm holding them up. When you're ready, you check up here. And that's what you should have jotted down. Aste, o, amos, aron. Aste, o, amos, aron. 2 accents over the A and over the O. All right, you could probably guess what's next. I would like you to please jot down ER and IR endings. ER and IR endings. All right. So these are ER and IR preterite endings. This is all preterite. Don't give me present tense. A few people gave me present tense on some activity that you did this week, and I said, redo it. Past tense. Past tense, preterite. All right, I'm writing mine down. You write yours down, then you can compare it. All right, when you are ready to check, look up here. If you're not ready yet, don't look up yet. Again, 2 accents. And these are the ones that I introduced to you on Monday that you should have been working on this week. There was a guided grammar activity, and then there was another practice that you had to do, I think, yesterday. So if you're not getting these, you'll have a little time today, and also you'll have some catch-up time on Monday to make sure you are feeling good about these. All right, so you should have iste, io, imos, ieron. Iste, io, imos, ieron. Say it. Iste, io, imos, ieron. 2 accents over the E and over the O. Sometimes people get confused on this. Hey, I tell people, remember, it's always over the O. So there it is there over the O. There it is there over the O. Okay? O. Iste, imos, ieron. No, sorry. Iste, io, imos, ieron. All right. So if you are not feeling amazing about those, you need to be. Keep practicing them. All right. Now, yesterday, I gave you some notes on 3 special endings. If you did not do anything yesterday, or you did not understand it yesterday, please direct your attention up here right now, and I'm going to teach it instead of just having you read it, because that's not ideal. I get it. All right, so there are notes over 3 endings that you have to look out for. Anybody happen to remember what they are? I'll give you a quick point. Oh, Emma does. Go ahead, Emma. What are they?
Car, gar, and czar.
You got it. Car, gar, and czar. So what do we mean by that? I'll tell you. All right, so we are talking about verbs that end with car, like praktikar, sakar. Verbs that end in gar, like jugar or llegar. Verbs that end in zar, like almorzar or empezar. So what you have to do is look out for these verbs when you are using the preterite tense. When you find one, you have to remember that they are irregular in one form. Anybody else want to raise your hand and tell me which form do I have to be careful in? There's only one. I got Emma with me. She's collecting points. Anybody else want it? All right, Emma, go for it.
Yo.
Correct. All right. So yo form, yo form, yo form. All right. That means if it's the 2 form, it's normal, practicaste. If it's the L form, normal, practico. Nosotros practicamos. Ellos practicaron. It is just the yo form that has a change. Okay. Yo form, and yo form. All right. So what does that mean? Well, here's the deal. Let's start with a verb like practicar. The issue is that it's the C. All right. Sometimes the C can have a hard sound like a K. Sometimes the C can have a soft sound like a S, right? You learn that when you learn English is the same way. So the problem is, if I were to conjugate practicar into the past tense, this is what it would look like, right? So it would look like that. That does not say practique, that says practice. So how do we make it K? We need the hard K sound. So we are actually going to remove the C and change it to a QU. So now it says practique, okay, QUE with an accent. All right, I'm going to give you one to try. I would like you to try sakar, okay? So try the verb sakar. In the yo form, please. Sacar is like to take a picture, or you can use it to take out the trash. Sacar la basura. So you try and spell it. Okay, I don't want it to say sase. I need it to say sake. So how do we make the ka? All right, you write it down and then you can check your answer here. Ready? Holding it up. That's what you should have. Sake, Q-U-E. Are you with me on that? Does that make sense? Seeing a few nods. I'll take it. All right, so now let's talk about gar. All right, let's talk about yegar, to arrive. All right, it's ga. The problem is the same. If I conjugate it normally, I get yay hey. Well, we don't want to say yay hey. We want to say yay gay. Ga. Okay, so what do I have to do? I actually am just adding a letter this time. So I add in a U. All right, so it is spelled like this. Oh, there it is. Yay gay. G-U-E. All right, I'm going to let you practice with hugar. Very common verb. People misspell it all the time. Hugar. All right, see what you can do. Tell me I played. Hugar. Don't tell me huhe. I want it to say huge with a g. Yo huge. All right, see if you can spell it. It looks a little funny. All right, look up here to check when you're ready. Huge. It's got a G-U-E at the end. All right, do you get it? All right, we got one more. So we did car. We talked about gar. We got more and more. Czar. This one's a little less obvious, but we need to change that z to a s. Okay, it's just a softer sound in Spanish. So I'm going to give you the example empezar. All right, and it's not with a Z. The Z is going to change to, anybody know before I say it? Emma does. She is super on it today. Go ahead, Emma.
You're gonna change the Z to a C, so
There.
it'd be say.
So here's how you're going to spell it. I'll give you one in a minute. So empecé. We change that Z to a C. Okay, it's a minor thing, but you got to be careful in all the yo forms. All right, I'm going to give you a verb. How about almorzar, to eat lunch? Okay, I'll write it down for you if you don't know how to spell the original verb. Is almorzar. So tell me, there it is, almorzar with Z-A-R. So you conjugate the yo form. I ate lunch. I ate lunch. How would that look? Write it down. All right, check up there when you're ready. Almorce. Okay? All right, I'm going to take it down. Okay, so that is the bulk of what I need you to know for Tuesday. All right, regular AR preterite, ER and IR, car, gar, czar, careful in the yo form. And then there are a couple vocab questions. All right, and the vocab we'll come back to in a minute. If you go back and think about what we did on Monday, the last day I actually taught you live, we were talking about, remember I had the clothes in class and I was like, de qué está hecho? What's it made out of? And we talked about, oh, a sweater is made of wool and the blouse is made of silk and the little drum, my little instrument, was made of leather. So the vocab will kind of focus on colors, on materials, and on mercados. We are going to talk about markets a little bit here in a few minutes. Okay. So next up, I want to go back to, again, something that you were supposed to do for me this week. You had some preterite questions to answer. All right, so if you want to go back to your current lesson, we're going to look at these and clean them up so that we can actually use them next week. All right, so I'm screen sharing if you don't know where to go. Go to, it's under number 2. So we just practiced our endings. We're going to look at preguntas del pretérito right here. Okay, so if you click on your questions and you've submitted them, I believe you can click on reviews, submissions, or I don't know, what does it say? Who's looking at it? What's it actually say? What's it say? Something
It
about your,
says submission details.
that's it. Thank you, Emma. Submission details. You should be able to click on it and see what you wrote. And I want you to, we're going to share them and we're going to clean them up here. Okay. When I graded these, I did it on completion. I did not look at your verbs. And when I did look at them, there were a lot of grammatical problems. So instead of correcting each one, we're going to go through them. I want you to correct your own and then you can resubmit it. If you never submitted it, you can still submit it. If you can't access it, then just write these down on a piece of paper because I want you to have good examples of answers and I want you to be able to use these next week when we do a little speaking activity. Okay. All right. So here's where you're going to get a chance to get some points. Poor Emma's been working so hard all by herself. She's gotten 4 points this morning. So we're going to let her rest and everybody else is going to start participating so I can give you some participation points. Here's what I want to know. First, I just want to go through what these mean. And then I'm going to go through some answers so that we make sure you have good answers. They don't have to be the same, but I want you to check your verb. Okay. So first question was, ¿Qué hiciste el fin de semana pasado? I'm going to stop sharing because I assume you're looking at yours. So what's that mean? It's a very general question. I am sure that you will see it on quizzes. You may even see it on a final exam. Callie, what's it mean?
What did you do last weekend?
It's a super general question. Thank you. What did you do last weekend? Now, I do not need you to use the verb hacer in the answer. Everybody listen because people get really confused on this. Think about it. In English, you wouldn't say I played basketball. You would just say I played basketball. Well, you wouldn't say I talked to my friends. You would just say I talked to my friends. So don't use did in your answer. It's an irregular verb. It's hice, and I don't need you to use that. So if you used hice in your answer, let's get rid of it and let's try again. All right. Now, technically, you could say I did my homework or something like that. But again, we don't need to do that. So let's come up with something you did. If you played something, go back to the verb jugar. We just did, right? Fix it. Spell it like that. Okay, if you're going to use I practiced, you could use practice now. Put a QUE on the end of it. Practique. Otherwise, you could say anything you did last weekend. You could say I talked to my friends. You could say I played something. You could say, I don't know, whatever you did. So I'm going to give you a pause for just 30 seconds and come up with something you did. You could say I visited my grandma. You can say I don't know, went out with my friends. You can say, I ate ice cream. I don't know what you did. All right, but I want a couple people to share. And if you want to check a verb, I'm happy to check it with you. If you want to get a point for it, I need you to raise your hand. I'll take a few in the chat if you'd rather just write it because you can't talk, because your microphone doesn't work, because blah, blah, blah. Put it in the chat. I'll still give you a point for it. All right, on the rest, I just really need one because they're kind of more similar answers. But on this, I can take a few different answers. So give me one, raise your hand, put it in the chat, get yourself a point. What did you do last weekend? Any verb in the past tense. Ready, go. Buddy ready to share one? Anyone ready to share yet? Well, I got one. All right, Callie, I'll write down your verb and I'll share it and give you your point. I feel like, let's see. Oh, there's a couple more. Okay. All right, Hamza, I got yours.
Rick, you have to get back to your computer, say, Bob?
Okay, here are the first two I've gotten. I'm happy to take some more. So if you wanted to say, let's see, somebody said, jugué volleyball. Make sure you spelled your jugué like that. If you used comer, somebody said yo comí pizza. Make sure your comí is spelled like that. Want to give me a couple more? We want to put one in the chat or just raise your hand and say one? Got a different verb there we could use? Oh, I got another one. Okay. Okay. So, Reginald, this one is, a little bit irregular. You put an A ending on it. It's an ER verb. So let's clean that up for you a little bit. If you want to say, he said, I watched TV. Yo vi la televisión. So it's an ER verb. So it technically would have be an I, but it actually is a little irregular just because it doesn't have an accent. But you're welcome to use yo vi. I watched. Maybe one more? Quick point? One more? Anybody use a different verb? Anybody? Anybody? One more?
I used hacer,
Okay.
but I said no hice mucho el fin de semana pasado.
Okay. So if you did use hacer, it looks like you probably looked it up. It's hice. Is that how you spelled it?
Yeah, that's how I spelled it.
That's fine. It's just an irregular verb. So if you don't want to make it, too complicated, just use a normal one. That's fine. Okay, let's look at number 2. I can't remember what it was. Number 2 was que comiste. Somebody want to tell me real quick, what's it mean? Quick point. What's it mean? Somebody hasn't gone yet today. What's it mean? What's it mean? I got 2 hands, but they've gone. Hold on, I'll come back to you in a minute. How about Arissa or JJ or Layla or Gabby? What's it mean? Que comiste? How about Zion or Ume? Que comiste? All right, Carter, go ahead.
Is it what did you eat?
Yeah, what did you eat? So come up with something if you haven't yet. I already shared the verb I ate because I think Hamza told us he ate pizza. So spell your word right and come up with something you ate. All right, there's your word again. I'll just go ahead and do it since we already did it. Comi. All right, C-O-M-I with an accent. Again, either you're correcting this on the computer, you're doing it for the first time, or you are writing it down. If for some reason you can't get it on the computer, I want you to have these because we're going to use these. Keegan, great answer. You want to read it for us?
I said comí cereal. How do you say cereal?
It's close. Cereal.
Comí cereal por desayuno y por almuerzo. Comí los sándwiches tostados de queso.
Good. All right, Callie, go ahead. You can read yours. What'd you write, Callie?
Come pizza.
Comí pizza. And Carter, go ahead.
I don't know how to say it.
It's a really fun word to say. Panqueques.
Pancake or panqueques.
Yeah, I said comí panqueques. Pancakes. Good. Reginald said pollo, right? Good. All right, let's go on to the next one. How about somebody tell me, what does con quien hablaste mean? Con quien hablaste. How about Harlan? What's con quien hablaste mean? How about Miranda? What's con quien hablaste mean?
Oh, I was muted.
Oh, that's what's it mean, Harlan?
It means, hold on, what number? I was looking at my answers.
You're fine. Number 3, I think. Number 3.
Like what did you eat?
I think that was number 2. Next one, number 3. Hablar. Who did you?
Oh, who did you talk to?
Who'd you talk to? All right. So answer. I don't know. Layla, Arissa. Aiden, you got an answer? JJ? Gabby? Be interesting to know how many people are actually on this Zoom, wouldn't it? I feel like there's about 5 of you. No, I take that back. I've heard from 3, 4, 5, 7 of you. Okay. Let's see. Ume, you haven't gone recently. Go ahead, Ume. You want to read yours or not? I don't know if your thing's working.
What does yo hablo con mi familia?
Yes, except for I want you to just stick a little, I'll put it up there. Hablé. Put it in the past tense. Hablé con mi familia. And then you're perfect. Carter, do you want to read yours?
Oh, what was it?
I don't know. Did you want, you had your hand up. Maybe it was from before.
Oh, I probably just never put it down.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Okay. So hable con whoever you want to talk with. Your friends, your family. The word con is with. So I guess I would make sure you say hable con whoever. All right. Next up, miraste la televisión. What's that mean, Callie?
Did you watch TV?
Yeah. Did you watch TV? So I guess you have to tell me, yes, I watched TV or no, I didn't watch TV. So start with sí or no, and then just put that verb mirar in the yo form. Anybody want to share? Good. All right. So I see a couple there. And it's interesting. Yeah, some of you said mire and some of you used V again. Either one is fine. They're kind of interchangeable. Like I saw or I watched. Okay, Keegan, you want to read yours?
I said no, aunque mire mi teléfono.
So he said, no, what's aunque? That's a good word.
Like though, although, kind of. Sort of.
Yeah, although. So he says he didn't, but he did look at his phone. Good. Mire mi teléfono. Sounds good. All right. Last question was, escribiste tu tarea. Escribiste tu tarea. What's that mean? Somebody hasn't gone yet there? JJ or Aiden or Layla or Arissa? All right, well, back to you, Emma, then. Go ahead, Emma.
Did you write your homework?
Yeah, did you write down your homework? I mean, you could say yes, or, you know, if you did your homework. I guess you could say no if you typed your homework or if you didn't do your homework. Either way, I'm just looking for the verb. Verb. Anybody want to read me your answer? I'll take a repeat. I feel like I only have, like I said, 7 or 8 of you there. So if somebody wants to repeat it, go ahead. Anyone?
Sí, yo escribí mi tarea.
Perfect. Thanks, Carter. All right. So yeah, here's your verb. Make sure you spell it right. Escribí. Right? Escribí mi tarea. Sí, escribí mi tarea, or no escribí mi tarea. Oh, thanks, Callie. I saw you wrote that too. All right. So hopefully, feeling good about able to answer those questions. Yes. See? All right. Please hold on to them. If you typed them, then they'll be there for you next week. If you didn't type them, then stick them somewhere because I do want to come back to them. I should ask my class. What do you think? Do I let my daughter eat Halloween candy? Sure, go ahead. All right. So last thing I want to talk about is a little bit vocab related. Like we said, on Monday, we were talking about clothing. We were talking about la ropa and describing it. Another part of this vocab list is kind of mercados and how you pay for things. So I love talking about mercados. So we're going to spend at least a minute here talking about them. And I'm going to show you a little video here in a second so you can get the gist here. So somebody that has either studied mercados before or been to a mercado want to explain to me, the way I put it on your Canvas page is mercados versus tiendas. What's the difference between a market and a store? Buddy, no, have you talked about it before?
A market is like, wait, somebody else talking?
No, you go ahead.
A market is where you can go and there's like a lot of different sort of like stalls where you can sometimes you can bargain like heckle prices usually, or they can be open air, or there's like discount malls that are kind of markets, so just like a large variety of things in small sections.
Sounded pretty good. Anybody have anything to add before I do?
Sometimes like a lot of fresh fruits and foods.
Definitely everything is fresh. In this video that I show you, sometimes people are like, oh, gross. I don't get the reactions because it's on Zoom, but yeah, I mean, it's everything's fresh, right? A lot of people are okay with seeing like fresh fruits and vegetables, but when you get to the meats, they're like, oh, gross. Yeah, I mean, it looks different. It's the same stuff that, you know, is packaged and frozen and shipped off in a truck to Kroger or Meyer or wherever you go, but it does look a little bit different when you see it in the market. So you'll see that in my little video here in a minute. Anybody else? Emma?
It could be like other things than just like fruits and vegetables and meat. It could also be like clothing items or little things.
Artisan, yes. Yeah, lots of like handmade things. Perfect. If you have been in my classroom, you'll see like there's tons of little knickknacks. Those are all from markets. There's lots of like masks and little dolls and little games and I don't know, all kinds of clothing and like tapestries and stuff. I probably have some around the house. Maybe I'll gather for you as well. But yeah, so lots of like little handmade things, lots of colorful things. Usually markets, again, like Keegan said, they can be open air. They're kind of like temporary structures, like they may disappear at the end of the day. Everybody takes everything down versus a store like has walls and a roof and a door, and it's there from day to day. So markets are super fun. You can bargain for prices, which means like they'll give you a price, you give a price, you go back and forth and you kind of meet in the middle. That's kind of part of the culture, and they're just really, really interesting places. So I love visiting markets when I travel. Spanish speaking countries, but other countries have them as well. I've been to markets in like Africa. I've been to markets in Asia and Thailand. And they're always kind of similar. It's all kinds of like handmade things, and it's like the local people that make them. So a lot of people dress traditionally, and they're just super interesting places. Sometimes they're kind of like walking back in time. So I'm going to show you a quick video. It's about 5 minutes of my favorite market. It is in Guatemala. It is called Chichicastenango. And I think this girl does a good job of like showing you kind of different parts of the market and what it looks like. So if you can't picture it, hopefully this will help you. And if you have not been to a market, I hope that you will get to go to one at some point. They are just super interesting places. So give me about 5 more minutes of your time and just relax and see what you think of the market, the mercado. And then we'll wrap up and make sure you know what you need to do for Monday and be ready for your quiz on Tuesday. All right.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to Chichicastenango. Now I'm in Guatemala and this town is famous for its twice weekly markets. It's on a Thursday and a Sunday, and it's actually one of the biggest markets in the whole of Central America. I came from Lake Atitlan this morning, took a couple of hours on the bus, and now I'm going to be spending the day looking around, probably eating a lot of food, buying a few things. So let's go take a look around. Now, normally this town is pretty low-key, but then on a Thursday and a Sunday, people come from all the nearby towns and villages to sell their wares, and then obviously the tourists descend as well. So there's quite a big mix between locals and tourists here. The streets normally wouldn't be that narrow, but with the stores on either side, it's actually quite difficult to walk along. There's a lot of people everywhere. I'm probably missing something, but there doesn't seem to be any particular order at the moment. There's a bunch of clothes shops, and then suddenly you'll come across loads of chickens frying and tortillas, places doing smoothies. But it does mean that you can snack as you go around. Well, I seem to have stumbled across the bird area. Lots of people buying and selling chickens and cockerels. pigeons, all kinds of other birds. There's also a few puppies tied up as well, which does make me a bit sad. I just bought one of these ice creams, which is like a frozen wagon wheel. Or it's actually a bit more like a frozen choco pie, which when I lived in Vietnam I used to do, because they taste so good frozen. Uh-oh. This is just going to be another video of me getting food all over my face. I think I'm about 2 foot taller than everyone else at this market, which makes me stand out quite a lot. It's incredibly colourful, not just the people wearing the local traditional dress, which is always multicoloured, but virtually every, wow, I have no idea what that bang is, virtually every stand has got something colourful on it. So it's pretty nice to take photos here. Hello. As you leave the area, selling bags that say Guatemala on them, and towards the fruit and vegetables and the food, the alleyways actually get even narrower. Now it smells like fresh herbs, which is really nice. And it looks like we're getting into the food section. So I guess it was sectioned off after all, it just wasn't that obvious to start with. As soon as you get off the main street, then suddenly there's no tourists at all. And it's just locals coming in from nearby towns and villages to get their fresh fruit and vegetables and meat, of course, for the week until the next market, which is on Thursday. One thing I'm quite enjoying is how certain stands sell two completely different things. So I saw a stand before that was selling chicken and telephones. And then another one that I just saw was selling Granny Smith yarn and blackberries, which are definitely interesting pairings. So I've been here about 3 hours now, and it's quite easy to actually get lost walking up and down these alleyways. A lot of them look quite similar, and there aren't a lot of signs to tell you where you are. I've definitely enjoyed it, but it is pretty tiring. It's quite busy and very hot. So I'm going to head back towards the bus now and go back to my hostel. I hope you guys have enjoyed the video and enjoyed seeing how colourful it is here. Make sure to hit subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon.
All right. Well, like I said, I just love markets. They're super fun. I hope you get to go visit one at some point. And if you go to a Spanish one, then you can actually use your Spanish. So we will circle back to markets next week. I want to show you some of my favorite pictures since I can't show you my stuff. Although, like I said, I probably have stuff around the house too that I can show you. So let me just kind of summarize things and what you need to do and be prepared for next week. So first of all, quiz on Tuesday now. Okay, it will be covering preterite, AR, ER, IR, and CAR, GAR, and ZAR verbs. So those are regular only in the yo form. You've got notes on that from yesterday's lesson if you want to go back to assignments from the 12th. Also, you have notes for that under class resources. There are 2 practices in the textbook you should have done on those topics this week. Both were called guided grammar. One was on ER and IR verbs, and one was on CAR and GAR. ZAR is not on there, but you know ZAR too. Also, Quizlet would be helpful because there will be a few vocab questions on your quiz on Tuesday. All right. So on to Monday, you do not need to come to Zoom, even if you are all virtual, because I'm just going to repeat everything we just did for the people that couldn't be here today. So if you want to come, you're welcome to. Otherwise, just go straight to my Canvas and look at, there'll be a Kahoot for you to complete, and I'm giving you time to get in your makeup work from this week and some time for Quizlet to get ready for your quiz on Tuesday. Does that all make sense? Okay. Well, have a great weekend. Good to see you again. Thanks for participating, my 9 of you that did. And otherwise, stick around if you have a question, and otherwise, I will see you on Tuesday, okay? Hasta luego.
Bye.
Bye. Have a good weekend.
Bye. Okay.